This is Supreme Brick. In 2016, it was priced $30, but it resold on eBay for $1,000. That's over 3,000% profit. Now, before you jump into obvious, it's not just because of hype. Well, up to a point, but look at Coca-Cola. It's literally sugar water. Red Bull is just sugar water with some caffeine. It tastes good, but why would people even buy sugar water to begin with? And what makes people pay $1,000 for a freaking brick that costs less than $1 to make? It can't just be product, right? Well, after years of designing brands and creating strategy for my clients, one thing I can say is these brands are actually not selling you product. They are selling you emotions. Supreme sells exclusivity. Coca-Cola sells happiness. Red Bull sells that extreme adrenaline junkie lifestyle. And the moment your brand start doing the same, people stop comparing your price and start feeling your value. So in this 1 hour course, I'm going to show you exact step-by-step framework these billion-dollar brands use to build that perception, that emotion. So you can charge more for your product and service, attract loyal customers, and build a brand people genuinely love to buy from. So how to build a brand people love to buy from. So this is a brand strategy guide to build brand that connect deeply, stand out clearly, and sells naturally. So first of all, thank you for downloading this ebook, or like if you're watching this video, thank you so much. Most brands skip strategy and jump straight into design, then wonder why nothing sticks. You didn't, and that alone puts you ahead. This guide will give you everything you need to build a brand as powerful on outside as your vision is on inside. So about me, I'm Taros. So I'm a brand designer and strategist with over 10 years of experience, and my background is in handlettering and illustrations, and my work is shaped by one core belief: people connect with what feels meaningful and human. A brand that feels meaningful doesn't just look good, it earns trust, creates connection, and gives people a reason to choose you to buy your product over your competitors. So there is this saying by Jeff Bezos that your brand is what other people say about you when you are not in the room. So it is all about that brand's perception. So in this course, that is exactly where we're going to learn how to create. So we are going to create that emotion around your brand. So what will you learn? So the context are what is brand strategy and why you need it. And brand foundation, so it is where we are going to create the soul of your brand. And target audience, obviously this is really important. Competitor analysis, your human brand persona, and connection strategy, so like creating the connection between your brand and customers, so like there is that like strong relationship between brand and customers. And visual identity, so basically turning all the emotion and translating that into visuals, so everything you see, color, logo, everything. And you are also going to learn font, shape, and color psychology and how it impacts your brand visuals. So these are some brand I have developed, and at the end I'm going to show you the brand presentation. So once you learn everything in this course, at the end you are going to see like what is the end product going to look like. So we are going to see that at the end of the course. And so let's start with what is brand strategy. So brand strategy is basically a structured plan that defines how your brand is perceived. So how your brand is perceived, what it stands for, who it serves, and how it's remembered with clarity and consistency. And the design is the ultimate result of brand strategy. So brand strategy comes first, and then it is translated into design. And a lot of brands just go straight into design, so that's why it doesn't work out. So brand strategy is more important. And why do you need it? First thing is clarity defines who you are and what you stand for. Consistency ensures every message, design, and experience align. So you might have seen brands like small brands, they have different tone of voice. They might feel like fun on social media, but like in the shop experience, they feel more rigid, more traditional. So there is that break in consistency in tone of voice, in terms of visuals, in terms of how the brand should be perceived. So brand strategy gives you that consistency and differentiation, so helps you stand out from your competitors. So all of the soda brands like Coca-Cola and everyone were selling like happiness, sugar water, but like when Red Bull came, they said like, we're not selling happiness, we're going to sell that extreme emotion, like that adrenaline. So brand strategy is going to help you create that differentiation so you can stand out from your competitors. And another is connection between you and your audience. So it will help you create that deep trust and loyalty with your audience. And direction guides decision. So brand strategy is going to be the document that you can give to your marketing, your social media people, like other agency, or like if you are shooting commercial, like everything. It is going to be basically the Bible of your brand, and it is going to decide all of the decision across marketing, design, and growth. So how is it different from marketing? So brand strategy is who you are. So your purpose, value, personality, and positioning. And marketing is how you tell people about it. So it's going to be the ads you run, the content marketing, the campaigns, all of that stuff. Hope that is clear. So first step is brand foundation. So this is the soul of your brand. This is where we create the soul of our brand, and brand strategy is the core of your brand. So here we are going to explain three things. So first is the purpose, mission, and vision. So it will define who you are, what you stand for, and why you even exist as a brand. So first thing, so let's see the first step. So first I want you to write your brand name and about your brand. So to show you the example, let's put a clothing brand. So this is what we recently did. So it will give you a better idea of like how to use. And this is the brand we did. And so the name is Mad Clothing Co. And about the brand, so basically this brand was born from my client's life journey. So all the struggle, hard work, hustles, and his ultimate desire to leave the legacy, to leave his mark on this world. So that was about the brand. And so purpose, it means why does your brand even exist beyond monetary gain? So we're not talking about money yet, we're talking about emotions. So why does your brand even exist as a brand? So for our clothing brand, we created something like we exist to remind the world that one who grind in silence are the one who change it. And another purpose I want you to write is why do you exist for your target audience? So you have to show empathy toward them and show that you exist for them. So why do you exist for them? For the clothing brand, we wrote something like to acknowledge their hustles, to provide them platform, to make them feel part of the community. So basically give them a face that they exist, and to strengthen their journey to leave their legacy. So this is the purpose we stand by. This is why we exist. So create something like that for your brand. And next is vision. So vision is where do you see yourself in future? So 1 year is immediate goal, midterm goal, and long-term goal. So it gives you a direction. So where do you want to be? So for clothing brand, it was something like this. So first is obviously going to be to establish clear brand identity, and launch consistent drop, build a core loyal audience, and 5 years like be recognizable, grow emotional community, expand nationally, and long-term goal is expand internationally, influencer culture through authenticity, and be remembered beyond fashion. So being remembered beyond fashion, we are going into territory of like Coca-Cola. So they are not just known for their product, but they are known for the emotion. So Red Bull, so people might not even drink the Red Bull, but they know what the Red Bull stand for, like extreme sports. So we're going in that territory. So at this point, like people are gonna know you not just for your product, but your brand perception. So this is the direction we are going for. And the mission is what should you do every day to reach that goal. So it is like your daily task you need to do to reach there. So for our clothing brand, we created something like design with meaning, not trend. So we're not trend driven, and keep a brand attitude authentic and real, to tell honest story, focus on quality and craftsmanship. So all this came after the market analysis, so which we are going to learn in a bit. So I want you to write that as well. So once you have this, you're going to have like the soul of your brand. So what is your brand, and where do you want to go, and what you have to do every day to reach there. So once you have that, I want you to create your brand in one line. So this is going to be your brand statement basically. So you have to answer 4 questions. So who is it for? Basically your target audience. So our target audience for the clothing brand was young creator, entrepreneurs, and hustlers. And what it offers. So basically, what is your product or services? So obviously it was streetwear merchandise. So what is the outcome? What will they become after choosing your brand? So for the outcome, I don't want you to say it literally. So for example, if you have a hair growth brand, the outcome is not the hair growth. So the outcome is going to be the confidence that the customer are going to get after the hair is grown. So you are talking about emotion. You are not talking literally the outcome. So for example, once you drink Coca-Cola, you're not going to feel the sugar rush. You are going to feel happiness. And once you drink Red Bull, you're not going to feel like energized or something like that. You're going to feel adrenaline rush, like extreme sports. So we're selling that emotion, that perception. So what is the outcome? What's going to be the outcome for the clothing brand? Be part of silent winning team and leaving lasting legacy. And why should they care? So there are going to be a lot of competitors, so why should customer care about your brand? So what is your unique selling point? So for the brand we created, the unique selling point was the real story over hype. So a lot of brand were selling because of the hype, because of the trend. So we are focusing more on the story side. So that was our unique selling point. And I want you to take all of that and combine it into one structure. So we exist to help target audience to desired outcome by providing unique selling point plus your product and services. So the structure doesn't have to be exactly same, but like you need to have all of these elements. So we exist to help driven creators and hustlers build a lasting legacy by providing authentic, purpose-driven streetwear rooted in real story and craftsmanship. So once you have that, it is gonna basically define your brand in one line. So next is gonna be, so step 2 is target audience. So knowing your target audience ensures your brand speak directly to the right audience, build a stronger connection, and make every message and experience more impactful. So let me just show you by this example. So as a brand, you will have limited resources, limited time, limited money. So if this is your resources and all of the fish are like target audience, if you are trying to target everyone, you are targeting no one. For example, if you're trying to, like, let's say I want to target everyone, as you can see, you are not targeting anyone. But if you are just targeting, let's say in this side, so you're targeting a lot of customers. So with the limited resources, you are targeting a lot more customers. So just by the visualization, you're gonna see. So for example, like if we put it in the middle, like you want this side of the customer as well, you want this side, you want this, you're not targeting anyone. You're just wasting your resources, your money, your time, your energy, and the brand falls apart. Like it doesn't have any distinct emotions. So targeting audience is really important. I hope this really showed you what I meant. And so in target audience, there are two things we have to look into. So first is demographic. It's basically who they are. So like general knowledge, like age, gender, location, income, basically who they are. And another one is what we are really interested in is psychographic. So basically how they think. So what are their values they stand by? What are their beliefs? What are their mindsets? How is their lifestyle and their interest? And also another thing we have to think about is political views. So with everything going around the world, I don't want to make this political, but there are a lot of brands who had their customers on different side of the political spectrum, but they aligned their brand on the different side and they incurred huge loss, backslash. And there are also a lot of brands who had their customers on one political side of the spectrum, and they aligned them with their target audience, and they basically made a huge profit. So you also have to think about the political belief of your target audience as well. So, okay, now let's figure out who are the target audience. So for that, we have to fill out all of the details. So what are demographics? So who are your target audience? Just fill the age, income, gender, occupation, location, education, and once that is filled out, I want you to fill what are their interests and hobbies. So for our clothing brand, like we created something like this. So basically this is what I do internally, and this is what I show to the client because I don't want them to see all of the clutter. So this was basically like young, driven, sharp, they are talent who come alive at night. So basically midnight hustlers. So I want you to put everything here. So what are their interests? What are their hobbies? What they like to do in their free time? So what are their sports? Maybe they like football, UFC, and what kind of music they hear, food spots. Like I want you to fill out everything. This is gonna give you like really deep knowledge of your target audience. And once you do that, I want you to give them a name. So let's say the name is Mark, and find a picture online that will align with all of the details. And just for this brand, we chose this picture, and just giving it a name and picture will humanize your target audience. So later when you are thinking about marketing, like product development, you are going to think, what does Mark need? You already know like what is the interest of the Mark, what he does on weekend activity, what are his clothing preference. So you know everything about Mark. So it's gonna be a lot more easier to make decision. So just by having a name. And clothing preference, like to talk about political and social opinion, obviously that's really important. And values they stand by, groups and forums, so maybe they are on Reddit, they are on Snapchat, so obviously social media apps. So just having this information is going to be really helpful later on when you are doing marketing. So let's say they are active on Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram, and they might be following like specific celebrity. So you know exactly who they are following, and you can later on collaborate with the influencer they are following, so you can grab their attention. So basically, you are tapping into their thoughts. And you can see the example over here. So we created this target audience. So basically, they are midnight hustlers. They come alive at night. So their personalities, they are driven, experienced, but they are like silent. They don't talk much, but like they work in silence. So all of that was the target audience. So once you fill that in, I want you to fill this one. So what are their problems and what can be the solution? So first thing is pain points. So what are their pain points? So what is the pain point of Mark? So another thing, the reason I chose not to show the face, but the backside was to show that he's focused, he's silent, he just and like a midnight theme, so it goes well with the vibe we were creating with the clothing brand. So the one picture gives you a lot of information. So that is why it is really important to put the picture over here. So what are the pain points of Mike? That is our target audience. So here are a couple of things to give you an example. So brand chase hype with no story. So a lot of clothing brands that we did marketing research on were like chasing hype, and clothes doesn't reflect their hustles or identity. It was like really trendy, look, I am cool kind of vibe. So they were not showing that hustle, like that silent, like midnight hustle, silent grind kind of culture. So Mike feels unseen despite grinding every day, tired of wearing logo that means nothing. And what can be the solution of that? So your brand is going to be the solution. So every piece is designed with intention and purpose, clothing that speaks their language, real and raw, a brand that sees them and celebrates their grind, and every drop carries meaning, not just design. So another thing is we want to tap inside their subconscious mind. So what are their fears and what can be their desires? So we are tapping it into their subconscious mind. So what are their fears? Being forgotten after all the hard work, blending in with crowd, building something that dies with trend, wearing a brand doesn't reflect their values. So this is their internal fear. And what is their internal desire? What they are not speaking, but they are feeling inside, is their internal desire is to leave a lasting mark that outlives the moment, to stand out through what they wear and represent, to be part of something built to last, and to wear a brand that mirrors their mindset and grit. So this is their internal desire. So they're not gonna say it. So you have to do a lot of research to figure this out. Like they're not just gonna type it on internet. So this comes after a lot of research. Now I want you to put that into a statement. So use this framework. Before, target audience. So target audience is Mike. So before Mike had pain point, after using our product, they gain desire. So the statement can be something like before hustlers and creators. So these are the target audience, but like you can put the name of the target audience. So before Mike had clothing that felt empty, trendy, but meaningless. But after Matt clothing, they gain a brand that moves with them, one that acknowledges their struggle, their story, reflects their values, and encourage them to leave their mark on the world. So this is gonna be the statement. And another one, and the next one is competitor analysis. So we know everything about our target audience. Now we have to understand about our competitors. Analyzing your competitor ensures your brand knows where it stands in the market, uncover the gaps often have left open, and give every position decision a clear and strategic decision. So this is where you are going to fill out the detail of your competitors. So it is only one page, but like you can copy paste it for multiple competitors. I usually do research of around 5 to 10 competitors, so you can like copy paste it for that. So for one of the competitors, so these were let's see the example, so how it looks for one of the competitors. So this was the detail. So you can write the competitor names. So what were their strengths? So strong gym life identity, high visual brand recognition, strong influencer marketing research, because like obviously they wanted to be trendy, hype culture, so effective limited drop. And what were their weakness? So inconsistent brand direction. So some of the design were like really minimal, some were like really gritty, like organic kind of shapes design. So it was all over the place, and over dependence on hype marketing, poor customer reputation, operation delay and issues. So these are what you see on outside, but I want you to go inside their website or like Trustpilot or all of this stuff. Like Reddit is also really good source of information what the customers are thinking about. So I want you to do the research and write what are the good reviews people are giving like their customers, and I also want you to write their bad reviews. So this is what the customer are actually feeling. So just get the information and write all of the good reviews. So good reviews are clean, bold, gym aesthetic, durable, thick premiums. This was pretty similar for all of the brand. And what were the bad reviews? So majority of the information are from the Reddit, and some are from Instagram as well. So repetitive, hype-driven design, inconsistent quality between drops, sizing errors, over-reliance on hype marketing, slow or no response. So customer service was really bad, and shipping delays, frequent stock issues. So once you do like this review research, what the customers are saying, you are going to find a few gold nuggets, and you can figure out like a gap in the market. So this was for the brand, and at the end of every competitor, I want you to write like brand name, brand, and has strong identity, visual recognition, influential driven hype, and limited drop appeal, but it lacks brand consistency, reliable customer experience, operational efficiency, and deeper storytelling. So it is gonna conclude like all of your research in one line. So once you do research of like around 5 to 10 competitors depending on your niche, you will start to see a market trend. So combine all the information you gather from all of your competitors and form a final conclusion to figure out market trend. So once you do like 3 to 4 competitor analysis, you are already going to see like what is the trend. And once you do that, for the conclusion, I want you to write all competitor has pros but lacks in this. So this was all competitor have strong fitness and lifestyle branding, influencer driven marketing, and appealing streetwear aesthetic, but lack consistency in product quality, reliable customer experience, operational efficiency, and deeper long-term brand storytelling. So that was the main thing they were lacking in. So just give you an example, like these are some of the competitors, and as you can see, like it is more like hype, trendy kind of design, like look, I'm cool, like trendy, you can be part of this cool team kind of vibe they were giving. And we wanted to position Matte Clothing as silent lone wolf, alone kind of vibe. Like they are more serious about their leaving their legacy. They are not serious about like looking cool. So once you have that, like I have like fill this one, so you can fill it according to your need. So this is gonna be there like premium and affordable, so pricing is gonna be the same, but like I'm gonna keep this one blank so you can fill it according to your brand. So for this one we chose trendy and story driven. So most of the competitors were on this side, so they were like either too premium, a bit more affordable, but a lot of brand you are going to see is gonna be on like around this area. You're gonna see a lot of clusters. So around 75% of the branding I always see the competitors are gonna be in this like region, and I like to position my client somewhere around here. So like semi premium, but like really different from the competitors, because we don't want to be too affordable. Like this is not financially feasible, like profitable. So we want to be semi premium, because we can't be too premium because like it's just new brand. So semi premium and like completely different from them. So I want you to like take the dot and write like competitor name over here and what is your desired position over here. So just putting it in like this visually, it is going to give you idea of like where your brand should be. So next is competitive advantage. So we already know everything about our target audience. We already know about everything about our competitors and what is the market trend and everything. So we have to create competitive advantage. So what makes your brand different? What is your unique selling point? Why should customer choose you over your target audience? So before filling this out, I want to show you a different framework. So this is not in the ebook, but this is exclusively for everyone watching this video. So this is the framework we're going to use. So basically we have to create a brand story. And for that, we're not going to talk about product, but we're going to talk about emotion. So to create that, we need 3 things: belief, problem, and promise. So as a brand, you must have one point of view and one truth you stand by. So this should align with your target audience. It should align with their belief, their values. So that is the reason we filled out all of the detail on target audience in the psychographic. So for Oatly, Oatly believes this is a brand, and Oatly believes everyone can live healthier while making positive impact on planet. So this is the point of view, the truth they think and they stand by. So it's like milk but made for humans. So this is the belief they stand by. And for Dove, we do real care, so we can do real beauty. Dove believes everyone is beautiful in their own unique way. So they are like body positivity, inclusive. So this is the truth they believe in and they stand by. So this is the emotional anchor. So this is the belief they stand by. Now, once you have that belief, you have to create a villain. So you already know the market trend. Now you have to somehow create a villain out of it. Obviously, it's not going to work on every niche, but how Oatly did was their main competitors were dairy industry. Like they're selling milk, they're selling oat milk, and they're selling like dairy milk. So they created the villain out of the entire industry. So the villain were doing like environmental harm and animal cruelty. And for Dove, their competitor was like the market trend was like they were like unrealistic. They were showing unrealistic beauty standards. So they made the villain out of entire beauty industry. So this was what the competitors were doing. So they created villain out of the entire market trend. So no problem equal to no story. So they created the problem. And third thing you have to create is promise. So you have to show the transformation. So before and after. So for Oatly, before there was animal cruelty, environmental harm, and after choosing Oatly, live happier life, positive impact on planet. For Dove, before unrealistic beauty standard, but after choosing Dove, feel confident and beautiful in your own skin. So once you create once you combine all of this framework like belief, problem, and promise, you create the brand story, that distinct brand emotion that is completely different from your competitors. So how I used that framework for our clothing brand was, so basically the market trend was like cool, trendy, hype driven. So it was like, look at me, I'm super cool, like I have a lot of friends, like all of that. So I wanted to create the clothing brand, the perception, I wanted to create the perception to be completely different from them. So like our clothing brand is like alone. So it's like lone wolf, midnight. I'm more focused on the hustle, grind, and leaving my mark on the world rather than like showing trendy, cool. Like I don't care how cool I look. So it was like that vibe. Also, the photography direction was also like I don't care how I look. Like it's not about the appearance on front, but like what's on the back. Like it's almost like a football jersey. So you can see the name of the football player on the back, and they usually show like their back. So they're not showing like their face or anything. They just want to leave the legacy, the number of the jersey, the name in the back. So they are more interested on leaving their mark on the world. So this was the kind of photography direction we went with. So you can see like complete difference between these two just by looking at it. So that was how we used the framework that I just showed you. And first, and another three things so we can fill out to find out the unique selling point, because the framework might not work for all of the niche. So this is gonna help you get the unique selling point. First is gonna be the product. So what can you do on the product itself to create that unique selling point? So for example, for the clothing brand, it was craftsmanship and real artist design. So we thought like if real artists are going to make it and we can show the behind the scene, how everything was made, the craftsmanship and everything goes behind that. So that's going to be the unique selling point as a product. And the emotion is obviously story driven, purposeful. And for the visuals, so how it actually looks is all of the clothing brand was like more on black and white kind of theme. So we went with the pop of vibrant blue color. So it also shows that midnight grind color. So as you can see, like it is completely different just because of that one color. So like visually we are different. So also another visual thing is like they're all on the like on the circle of friends. So this one is like lone wolf. So this is how we distinguished our brand. And another examples are these. So on the actual product and visual side, the Graza, the olive oil brand, what they created was like really cool. So they changed the packaging. So all of the other olive oil brands have like this glass bottle and you can see the colors and everything, but like they did completely different. So they went with the green bottle, like squeeze bottle. So everyone were using glass bottle, but they use this squeeze bottle and change the color, so like they look completely different visually. Another one is like the tampon inside ice cream cup. That was super like interesting. And they are selling like the vodka in oil canister. So this is called chaos packaging, and you can use this tactic to stand out in market and to create that unique selling point. So these are some examples. And another question you have to answer to create that competitive advantage is, why would your audience choose you over your competitors? So for our clothing brand, every others were like hype driven, trendy, like trying to look cool kind of vibe. And our competitors are going to choose us because like if they care about their legacy, if they are like hustlers. So that is why like competitors, our audience are going to choose us. And why wouldn't audience choose you? So as important as why people will choose you, it is also important to understand like why wouldn't they choose you, because as we have already seen in that like fishing net like kind of visualization, we don't want to target everyone. So we only want to target our core audience. So why wouldn't audience choose us? Because like we're not trendy, we're not like hype driven, those kind of vibes. So we're completely okay. For example, Red Bull don't want like lazy people to be their target audience. They want like the hype driven, like adrenaline junkie athlete, those kind of people. So it's really completely fine. And how can you fill a gap in market? So we already fill the gap in market by creating like lone wolf, those kind of vibes. So we have already created like the gap in the market with this. But with all of the information, you can like just fill out all of the information, and you will have like pretty solid idea what is the gap in the market and how you can fill the gap in the market by the end of this slide. So next one. So step 4 is your human brand persona. So this is really important because humanizing your brand, like giving your brand a face, a voice, is it basically humanize your brand and gives it voice, personality, and emotional depth, making it feel more relatable, trustworthy, and real to the people who want to serve you. So there are a lot of brands that you interact on daily basis, and you feel that emotional connection with them. Like if they are not doing well, like you feel bad for them. So it's almost like they are real human being. So we are going to create that human brand persona, and it's gonna give your brand that human kind of feel. So for example, I'll show you some of this. So if Harley Davidson was a person, he would look something like that. If Mercedes was a person, he would look something like this. And for Nike, something like this. So the reason I'm showing you is, once you see the face, once you like humanize them, you already know like the tone of voice, the kind of language, the kind of personality the brand is going to show. Like it makes creating brand strategy a lot more easier. So to create human brand persona, we have like 2 main archetypes. So these are like personality type for your brand, and they show how your brand thinks, speak, and behave. So basically you can choose any one of these to, like, for example, like if you want your brand to be rebel, so like you can like choose the outlaw. So basically you can choose one of these to represent your brand. So for example, Disney is magician, Dove, we have already talked about it, like it's innocent, sage. Harley Davidson is outlaw, and Jester. So Old Spice like have like fun branding. So, and here is everyday. Like you can just see it and like figure out which one aligns with your brand and choose one. And next is archetype. Let's create our human brand persona. Again, let's give it a face. So we already have this picture. So find a picture that aligns with your brand perception. So for archetype, we created 2. So we want the first archetype to be like dominant, like 80% of the emotion, and creator can, and you can, it's usually best to have only one, but like some brand might be a bit more sophisticated. So you can use like 80% the main archetype and like around 20 to 10% secondary archetype. For this brand, we created Rebel, so because it is like outlaw, completely different from everyone, and the creator, because like it's hustlers, they are creating something, so it has that. So we can have 2. And another is, I want you to define what are the characteristics. If like your brand was a person, what would be its like characteristics? So these are some of the characteristics for the clothing brand. So it's disciplined, grounded, street rooted, quietly confident, legacy obsessed. So these are the characteristics, and I want you to write if the brand was a person, what would be its personality? So if this is a person, if the brand is a person, our personality is bold without noise, confident without ego, and intention without the explanation. We are brand that doesn't need to, we're the brand that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Our, like, you can write the personality, like think of it as a person, think of it as you are explaining the personality of your friend. So that is like the best example, how it speaks, how it conveys its emotions. So write everything as its personality. And next, once you do that, this is really important. So our personality communicates. So if your brand is a person, how does it communicate with its target audience? So choose one of these. So for our target audience and for our human brand persona, we are trying to show that we are same. So our target audience is young hustlers, like they are grinding in silence, and we are also same. So we're trying to communicate that we are same. But for a brand like Harley Davidson, we would be choosing you can be me, because if you choose Harley Davidson, you can be masculine like me. And for Nike, we would be choosing you can be great. So Nike shows like inspiration, motivation. So this is what their brand communicates. And for Google, I can guide you. So if it was like an educational brand, I can guide you. So that would be the person, that will be our personality communicates thing. So another thing we want to write is, if your brand was a person, what would be its fear and what would be its desire? So now we are thinking internally. So being forgotten after every drop sells out, growing big but losing the soul it started with, becoming just another logo. So now you are thinking internally as a brand, like subconsciously, like internally, what are your fears and what are the desires to be brand people wear when they want to be understood, to build a community that carries the legacy forward. So all those kind of things. So you can put that over here. And now we have created the brand. Now we want to express it in words. So we have the emotion, we understand the emotion, but we have to convey that emotion to other people. And how are we going to convey that? We're going to use words. So we're going to use what tone of voice we are going to speak to our audience in, and what are the words we are going to use. So choice of the words. So for example, for the clothing brand, these were some of the examples. So if you want to show confidence, like the word of expression could be you can, you will. And if you want to show like raw and honest, wear what you feel. And like if you want to show the tone of voice that is quiet and powerful, let's say built in silence. Let me show you like real world examples. So how it looks in like a real world. So for example, think of this as a skincare brand, and you're trying to capture their emails for email marketing, and this is the pop-up. So for example, there is only this like unlock 10% off your first offer, and you can give your email and sign up and get 10% offer. Seems really generic, like almost like transactional, but with the tone of voice. So let's give it like a feminine, like inclusive, body positivity kind of tone of voice. Then just for being here, 10% off for you beautiful, first access to launch, skin tips, and surprise made just for you, no spam ever. And on the button, we can write you deserve it. So you can see the difference between two. So this one was more like transactional. Just give me your email, I'm gonna give you 10% off. And this one is like you feel you are interacting with the brand. It basically feels like brand is speaking to you and you are connecting with the brand, not just like in transactional way, but in emotional way. So this is like one example of tone of voice. Here are some things we did for our clients. So again, for the clothing brand, the tone of voice we used was like optimistic, like legacy driven. So we created the slogans, legacy in motion, built for bold who move in silence. So we wanted to have that silent midnight, that legacy and in motion. So the choice of word was like we are in the process of creating our legacy. So this was for that brand, and this was for toy brand, so toy and collectibles. So we wanted to show that friendship, that togetherness, that magical vibe, and the fun of collecting and like toy. So the choice of words were like explore, world, Toyville. So the name of brand was Miller's Toyville. So I thought of creating a place like Wonderland, like Hollywood, like Disneyland. So I created a word Toyville. So it is like a world, and you can explore the world of Toyville. So it is almost like magical. You are entering the different world of Toyville. So where collectors are born, friendships are built, and the adventure never stops. So this is like the choice of word that makes it more interesting. And these are some illustrations we made. And this was for a urban food brand, so we wanted to show like that to the face, like that youngster, bold, unapologetic vibe. So the choice of word was like smacking delicious, like right in your face, like that burst of flavor. So we also created these illustrations, and the choice of word you can see here, like get your mac here, like that's how the youngster, like not unapologetic kind of vibe. So just having that word like really shows like what is the brand all about, like gives that sense of brand perception, like smacking delicious right in the face. And on the other side we have like really cozy, feminine, like friendly, lovey-dovey kind of vibe. So for this Kappa brand, boba brand, what we did was like the choice of word was happy, cozy. So choose your happiness. These are the drinks menus, but like we chose choose your happiness. So like you get the point. And sipping on happiness, so like drink happiness, but like sipping is like more comfortable. So that's that. And this was like the main slogan of the brand, so your daily boba comfort. So this took me like really good day or two to figure out, because we wanted to integrate the boba inside the daily lifestyle of the customers, and also wanted to show the comfort. So we created two words like daily and comfort. So your daily, like we're integrating our brand inside the daily rituals of customers, and boba comfort, so like it is really comfortable, cozy vibe. So people are going to remember Kappa boba, your daily boba comfort. So it's almost like KFC's finger licking good, Nike's just do it. So people are gonna remember, and it's gonna be more memorable, and they are gonna have that distinct emotion with their brand. So choice of words are really important. So next one is connection strategy. So we have our customers, target audience, and we have our brand persona. So now we have to create the connection between two. So connection strategy is a plan for reaching your audience mind and heart. It shows you how the brand can engage, resonate, and build a meaningful relation with your target audience. So let's give the face to our target audience, and this is our brand. So just adding a picture is gonna make it like really easy to understand. And how does our brand personality communicate with audience? So our personality communicates, we are same, as we have already figured out at the before slide. And what emotion does our audience feel when we see a brand? Like, so when a customer sees our brand, they feel acknowledged, confident, respected, exclusive, let's remove that, motivated. So that can be the emotion. So we have already figured that out. And this is really important. So how can your brand help audience? So it is beyond monetary gain. So what can you do in the product and offer that will make the life of your customer better? And another is like the cause. So what are the cause you can align your brand? So you're not just saying it in words, but like you're not just saying like I care about our customers, but you are actually putting that in action. So the really good example is there was like recent tattoo brand I was working with, tattoo supply brand, and while doing the research I found out that one of their competitors had this in their bio, and like proud supporter of Lucky 13 artist front. So like it was all about like there are a lot of corporate tattoo supply brand, but we are not like them. We are like from tattoo artist to tattoo artist. So they're not just saying that, they are putting that in action by aligning them with the cause. So they were aligning them with this Lucky 13 artist fund. So just putting that, they're saying like they're not just saying for the sake of saying it, but they are like putting that in action. So just simple things like that. So you have to figure out like what are the cause in your niche that you can align yourself with. And for the community, like creating sponsored events. So for our clothing brand, we were thinking about creating like a networking event for like hustlers and like giving informations, all those kind of stuff. And for the community, so like Red Bull does like all those extremes events, and like Gymshark does a lot of like event for influencers and everyone. So what kind of community, like community building activity, like it can be small, like pop-up shops and like tasting menus, testing events. So those kind of things, like what you can do. And next is visual identity. So basically everything we have learned till now is like emotional side. Now we are going to take that emotion and translating that into visuals. So everything we see. So here you can have like a really good glimpse of like what the font is and like what kind of emotion it conveys. So serif can be traditional, authority, and sans is like clean, modern. So you can just check here and like what kind of emotion you want to convey and just take the font and like apply it to your brand. And another is color psychology, so red gives energy, passion, so you can just read it through it here. And another is shape psychology. So for my own branding, I do a lot of organic shape. So as you can see, like it is like ripped paper, so it is giving that organic expressive. Like I do hand lettering, I do illustration, so just like having like this shape like really gives that brand a different perception. So you can use the shape for your brand in that way as well. And at the end, you can see like my branding process, so how I created the clothing brand. So it's on YouTube, and you can see the video over here, and here is like the you can also see like glimpse of the story of my client on the video as well. So here is the testimonials. And for the maker slide, so everything in here was like custom hand drawn, so you can see how I draw everything and create the brand out of it. It's on YouTube, you can click here and see it. And here's the testimonial from the client. So let me quickly show you the brand presentation, so how the brand gonna look like at the end. So this was the brand presentation for Mac and Slice. So I can't show you the strategy document, but obviously like that's the secret, but I can show you like the how the brand's gonna look like with all of the strategy. So basically like when the strategy is turned into visuals, like how it's gonna look like. So this is the brand personality slider we use, and this was the chosen mood board. So this is the logo, so like to show that grounded, disciplined kind of vibe, so we created like this logo with the structured MAD inside it, and like it has this like grounded base to give that perception of that like disciplined, structured. And we took all of the emotion like family, action, emotion, and turned those emotion into illustrations. And these are like the typography pack we did as well. So basically taking that emotion and turning it into visuals. So these are some brand assets. Color palette, just by looking at the color you can see like why we chose it. And this is how it looks. We also did photography style, so we want everything look consistent. So just visually doesn't mean just design, so it's also about photography direction. So we wanted to show motion, action, and change. So like you are moving and going somewhere, like you are creating your legacy, because the name is legacy in motion. So that's what that. And typography pairing, so this is our typography pairing to convey that emotion. These are the brand patterns. So we took the illustrations and turned them into a pattern, and this is how it's gonna look on the website. So once you hold it in your hand, like you're gonna see all of this pattern, you're gonna feel the emotion, and you're gonna see this copy and like legacy in motion. And just looking at a glance, like you'll get all of the you are going to create that perception we want the customer to feel just by like combination of everything. So this is how it's gonna this is like the result of strategy in a visual form. So this is how it's gonna look when you open it, how it's gonna feel. So it's all like designed to give that perception, and a lot of stuff we did. And another one I want to show you is this was for a toy brand. So these are our values, these are our brand sliders. So this was logo completely handmade, and this was the illustration we did for them, because like we wanted to show togetherness, friendly, and what's better way to show that than by like creating two friends. So this was the meaning behind the brand. So like we wanted to have like tale of like this character over here, and like really friendly, and like we took the tail and made the logo out of it. So brand mascots. So this is Tucker, so we created a backstory of him. So like he's playful, encouraging, friendly, loyal. So like took the emotion of the brand and conveying through a human character, so like I mean dog character. So this is Millie. By the way, I'm running out of battery, so I'm like a bit rushing. And so yeah, it's Millie, and hi, it's Tucker. So Millie is like a bit sassy, smart, confident, curious. So like we're creating different character. And the visual illustration was like we took the shape and like these are the building block of our toy. So we took that and like basically made it a bit cool. And same pack energy, because like we have like two character but like different. So this one really says the brand theme. So the theme was like different paws, same energy. So like we have like paw of Millie and paw of Tucker, but like even they are different animals, like they are same pack energy, like you get the idea. So these are our brand patterns, and this is how it's gonna look. So we have like Millie wearing this scarf, so like we can really monetize on this. So I don't just do like a brand strategy for the sake of brand strategy, but it's also gonna help you add emotion, like just this scarves and everything, and like really help you monetize your branding, so you can make more money out of it. So this is the hat of Tucker, and like making like this, so almost like how Millie is wearing. So these are the caps, these are the stickers. So this is the scarf of Millie, and like basically like creating a keyring. So once your brand have that equity, like that brand have that perception, then all of these products are easy to sell. And this is how it's going to look on phone. So again, welcome to Toyville, ready to explore Toyville. So like tone of voice, and these are all our products. And yep, that's it. And so once you do the brand strategy and have all of the documents and create a brand visual identity out of it, so you have like logo files, all of the design files and all of the assets, like it's going to be a lot of chaos because you'll have to collaborate with a lot of people. You're going to have to share the files with a lot of people, so that's going to be a lot of chaos. So what I'm recently doing is taking all that and combining it into a brand guideline and hosting it on website, so turning that into a website. So this is the product I'm recently providing service to my clients. So this is the brand guideline I recently did for a brand. So here you can get all of the strategy document. You can like get all of the logo, typography, color palette, what is the photography style, all of the brand assets and brand highlights, and tone of voice, social media layout. So basically everything. So let's just go one by one. So you can also click here. So let's see, first is going to be the strategy. So what is the strategy? So we have all of that strategy, our mission, vision, everything we have already talked about in the strategy, the course. So this is the logo, this is primary logo, what is the logo about, secondary logo, and you can straight up download the logo from here. So you can just send the link to anyone and like they'll know everything, they'll know exactly what to do with it, and they can get all of the files. So you don't have to waste your time, because you should be using your time to run your business, not doing like things like this. So they can download it from here. Logo mark, they know like what are the clear space, what to do, what not to do, all of the everything is here. So typography, so they know like exactly what is the primary font, what is secondary, like how to use it, what should be the size, tracking, like everything is in here. So they can simply copy the color from here as well, so everything stays consistent, so color stays consistent. And photography style, what are the photography style, everything here. And they can like basically download the photography from here as well. All of the brand assets I created for the brand, so like they can know like what is the illustration all about, what are the theme we are going with, and they can basically download it all from here. All of the patterns, rip effect, like everything, all of the brand assets. And another is tone of voice, obviously, like as we have talked about. So what are the tone of voice? They can study it, fast, functional, simple. So this was the theme for this brand, so you can have your own. And another is social media example. So how should it look on social media? So everything is over here, like it's hosted here, and like you can just send the link to anyone and they'll know exactly what to do with it. So it's gonna make your life a lot more easier. So the next step, brand strategy can feel overwhelming, and there are a lot of things to think about and a lot of things to decide and connect and creating the visual direction out of it. So if I help to create a meaningful brand, then you can get in touch with me by clicking the link in bio on my Instagram, or like if you have ebook, you can just click this button and like book a free strategy call with me. So thank you so much for taking your time and viewing this course today.